Alright guys, so that's gonna do it for Variant Showdown, the closed beta test. Let me go ahead and give you some thoughts on this. It's really good. I like what they did with for the 10th anniversary. I knew that they were going to go all out with this game, which is what it's for. The characters are really well to play with, and I like the fact that they incorporated different elemental features for them, and each one has their own, like, each base character has their own specialty finisher and everything, which I think some of them don't have it yet, but I do feel like that in the future they're going to have that, like, feature in there where each one has their own. The characters themselves, they look great. The graphics are awesome. And I'm very impressed. Now, like I said, with this, because this is a beta test version that I'm testing, my review isn't going to be the same as my most games where most of them are finalized. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys what I feel like that should be worked on going into the future. The parry system, I feel like it should be block to parry also, and should be only in one spot. I don't like the fact being that it's timed to parry for the to parry the enemies and keep them from basically doing heavy damage to me, and it can be a pain. It's very, like, you have to be precise on touching it or else you fail, and a hair off will immediately fail it and will cause you to take massive damage. I do like the fact being that with the characters also there with their iconic weapon types, even with the ones that have the cross edge look to it. They have their iconic weapons that they use. For example, Kirito has his dual wielding setup with Elucidator and Dark Repulsor. Asuna has her Lambent Light. It's just one of those very few details that I feel like will make this game iconic and very well made. I like the fact that it has the third-person camera angle, and it's very easy to control. I like the fact that they have the UI from Integral, because that's what I liked about Integral the most, personally. I don't want any of those to change. Like I said, the parry feature could be better, or it could have been done a little bit better, but that was just me. I haven't noticed any, like, major bugs in the game, but this game will eat your battery if not careful, so don't ever run this game at a high quality is the best way to put it, because in the settings, which I'm actually glad that I'm going into the game right now to show that off, it's here you can manage your settings and everything. Right now I'm running it on the lowest setting possible, and that's why I'm not losing a lot of battery life. But if I was to put this thing on the highest setting possible, it would be this thing will eat your battery life and possibly even kill what basically I've also experienced a little bit of lag with it on the highest setting, but that's just normal personally. But even though they have that setting, it shouldn't have that much lag where I was experiencing. I also like the fact that this game has a tutorial feature in here, so I could technically go in here anytime and just show it off. Actually, I will, but I'll do that when the full game comes out, because this is recorded prior to the full game's release. So I'll also give you guys my final thoughts on it when the game fully comes out, and hopefully they kept it. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it here. There's just so much that I love about this game, and I can't wait to play this game fully. Because right now the quests that I have, and I didn't show this off, only goes to versus Mountain Goblin 4. Now I will advise that if you guys haven't seen or played any game where the Alicization arc is in it, Integral Factor is not included in that list because it is a unique story to the game, to that game itself. So I'd advise that you guys either go and watch the original series or go and play UB, even though I don't recommend you guys playing UB. It's really good to get your handle on the story because this takes place after it. Because these goblins are from the Alicization story arc. So, but I also like the fact being that they have different tabs for different things. The story quest, which is nice. And I also like the fact that they're all in the same place. So that's going to make it a lot easier when you know what you're wanting to do for playing the game. I also like that this is easily navigatable. And it doesn't take up pretty much the entire screen to move from place to place. The hub UI is beautiful. I like the fact that it has my level down at the bottom along with my user's name. And of course, all of this stuff down here is different. I like the fact that they're keeping the story separate from the quest line itself. The story pieces. And you know what? Just for the sake of this, I'm going to show off a little bit of the story piece for you. Just so that then this way you guys can kind of get how this comes into play, and why I'm saying the Alicization arc is important to at least know what happened there. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off my speaker and turn up the volume. And just for the record, we don't know who she is. It's still unknown to me. Alright, so as you guys can tell, it's pretty straightforward why this does tie in to the Alicization arc, because of some of the enemies that you'll see are from various points in the games and shows that they have released. Which I like the fact that they're able to take this game and tie it into the show and the other games that they've been able to play, and this story arc in particular is unique to this game alone. So similar to how Moonlit or Moon Cradle was part of Unleashed Blading, because that kind of tells the story of what happened between Alice after Alice comes to the real world in the show. So, and there was a lot kind of like missing in that show that they really didn't elaborate on, which is the one problem that I had with it. They showed like little snippets back when Kirito's memory, he decided to get erased. But I like the fact that they were able to elaborate on it and how the underworld got to that point at the season finale of War of the Underworld. So it would make... I like the fact that they were able to elaborate on it and how they were able to get like basically like space-based fighter jets in the game, in the underworld, between the time of him defeating I can't remember what his name was. I think it was Gabriel. It's been a while since I've watched it. But that iconic final battle where he ends up defeating whoever his name is. Like I said, I can't remember what the heck it was for the life of me. Even though it's an iconic battle, my memory is pretty crap. So this is basically what I am excited for. And I also like the fact being that some of the characters have, how should I put this? Some of the characters have that cross-edge look, and the cross-edge look to it. Let me find one. Because this kind of looks like Ordinal's default look. I'd actually have to go back and look at it. It has some of that base Ordinal scale look to it. But at the same token, it looks sleek. It's not like super flashy, which I really don't like for these types of games. It doesn't revolve around making sure that you have better characters and their moveset isn't locked like Unleashed Blading was. Well, their specialty moves are locked, but you can buff them up a little bit more to make them better, and it's not reliant on very specific pieces to do it. You just need the ability cards to do it. Like, I could probably make a fire-based Kirito who can deal a lot more damage than what he could originally. So basically, he would be like my main attacker, while I have another person who has a heal move that heals up everybody while they're on standby. I've got one that would be a tank who can take a lot of damage and not even lose a single, or would lose HP, but it wouldn't be as bad. That's what I like the most, is that you can customize the character's abilities however you want. And that's how, and all those cards technically could go on anyone. It's not specific. So I feel like that there's a lot more to this game, and there's a lot more potential. This game has the potential to write, how should I put this? It's gonna help. I'm hoping that this game can write what Unleashed Blading did terrible with. And rewrite it to bring back popularity to this game, to these types of games again. Now, it is unknown if it's going to be completely free to play. Like, you can get the skills, you can go scouting whenever you please without having to drop money on the game. I don't know, because right now, because this is a beta version, it is unclear to me how their drops are going to work on this game. If it's going to be like UB, you'll probably be dropping about 100, maybe 200 bucks a month on this game, just to get what you want, or even what you need in this game, because it's going to be a pain in the butt. If it's going to be more like Integral, I'm expecting it to be pretty much free to play. Even though Integral has become a bit borderline between pay to win and free to play. It's very rare that I ever have to drop money on the game for that. On that game in particular. MD was pretty heavy pay to win. because you weren't always given the amount of drop pieces that you wanted, and that's why that game, if I was to go on ahead and I'll tell you the games in the order of which I feel is best. Top one so far is Integral Factor. And that's just because you make your own character. You can give it whatever weapons you want. You can buff whatever weapons you want, due to the weapon proficiency engine that they have in the game. You can change, you don't have to stick with the default armor look. You can give it whatever armor look you want. Or you can even use the avatar capability and just do that. There's just so much to Integral Factor that kind of makes it over the top. It looks like that they went all out for that game in particular. It has you're basically back at the start. You're the main, your character is supposed to be the hero of that story, so it's already deviated from the original plotline, and it just looks, the graphics for the time of when that game was made is just beautiful. Next would be Memory Defrag, or MD. MD was good in a sense of how they did it. Even though it was still pay to win, it was still decently playable. I didn't like the fact being that it was third person limited point of view, but you were able to use iconic characters and change out their weapons for even more powerful ones, which you can't do here. And it was just overall good. Not better than Integral, but still way better than the last one, which is UB. It is probably the worst game that they came out with. It had the same features as Memory Defrag. It was supposed to be the successor, but I didn't like the fact being that you couldn't move your characters around, so you couldn't dodge attacks. You basically had to make your characters like tanks. And it was just, sometimes, even with everything that you did, you still end up getting your butt handed to you in a fight, and it was just, like I said, way too tedious. And it was just, there were so many glitches in the game. I mean, hell, I can't even play it anymore because it's unplayable. I wish that they would have kept Memory Defrag and got rid of Unleashed Blading. So that's just me, but this game will probably help rewrite the wrongs that they did with that game. And it was this one, because I don't know how it's gonna be. I don't know where to rank it. Graphics alone, it would rank higher than Integral because of its using next-gen graphics and character modeling. Gameplay, because of, like I said, because this isn't the full release that I'm showing you guys here. I'll be showing you guys that once the game fully comes out, and this video will technically be part of it. So I'll be able to give my full definite review on it. So I don't know where I'll rank it right now. So that's why I'm only telling you guys the 3, because I'm hoping that this game will do extremely well. But that's going to do it for this portion. I'll see you guys here back in a bit with the full release.